right, perfect. Everything's working right out the gate, so that's good. All right, yo, it's your boy Yoshi Kid Neo, and we are back in the World of Boridil, the Ruination of Boridil. Today's session, the party is going to be going on their first contract hunt. So they just became part of the Hunters Association, and they've taken up a couple of contracts, or at least Whitlock has given them a couple contracts that he would recommend them try. A couple of high A ranked ones and a couple of normal A rank, and then a few B plus. Reasons because, you know, they may have just gotten lucky with the basil geese, which they did because now I have new rules on how I will be using these creatures, and it's mainly with making them stronger. So the party doesn't know the exact details of it, but what we're doing is we're giving the creatures legendary actions. Pretty much every single one of them will have legendary actions that they can use. Only certain ones will have legendary resistances, and that's probably going to be anything that's CR 17 and above. The other thing is that with it being solo fights, and especially with the amount of damage the party can do, we are adding more hit points to the creatures for sure. So they are getting a maximized hit point value, and then they're getting an additional 50%. That should make it to where these creatures, especially the ones that can fly, don't get killed straight up. But there's always the chance that, you know, they do a hold monster and whoop the shit out of it, especially if it's a weaker style creature. The other thing is for creatures that are not as strong, like the Great Jagras, for instance. It's a CR4 creature. Instead, what we can do with those creatures is we can add multiple Great Jagrases, but have it only one creature. So we maximize the hit points, we give it an additional 50%, and then for each one that we add, we just, you know, either double or triple it. And that's also how many full turns it gets in a single round. So they could fight these creatures and they'd be very tough. The thing is, I gotta figure out like how to kind of balance it, because I don't want them to fight a Great Jagras that can go 3 turns, and then to fight a basil geese that can only go once, and it's easier to fight the basil geese. But anyway, enough talking. We'll go ahead and get into the recap with the group. So yeah, hope you enjoy.
No, you.
Hello there,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
What you sound like?
Hail.
What I sound like?
Do you hear what you sound like?
Yeah.
Do you have feedback? Okay. Good lord.
That's how the sessions need to be introduced. Welcome back to the end.
No, yo, it's your boy Yoshi Kid Neo with that.
Yo, it's your boy Yoshi Kid Neo.
Every time, that's how it goes. That's how we do. You don't change the formula for no reason.
Been playing too much Dead by Daylight, Kevin. You gotta stop.
No, Dead by Daylight is great.
When it feels like being great.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get right into recap. Last session, you guys... What'd you say, Joe?
I said nothing happened.
Oh. I mean, kinda, but not... maybe.
We
anyway,
talked a lot.
Yeah, y'all did talk a lot, which is, you know, normal. But
Normal.
you guys were on an airship heading back to Gamdaral, the encampment, the dwarven encampment on Dinosaur Island. On the way there, you did talk with your boy Whitlock for a bit to get sort of the lowdown on the island and the Hunters Association and things like that. And as you guys had flown into the encampment, you watched as they unloaded the corpses of the Nargacuga and the basil geese, 2 creatures which you guys had successfully hunted. Prior to that, you guys had carved some of the pieces of those creatures in order to use them for later, according to what Whitlock had told you. Normally, if you kill a creature for a contract, you'll be able to harvest some of the material to use for your own whatever reasons, usually some type of component upgrades for your weapons and armor, or to sell it and make some money. But the rest of it goes to the Guild Association for research purposes, as well as to aid the Dwarven Empire, or whichever empire you're doing the contract for. So Jimothy and Dr. Thorpe, they tag teamed it. You guys were very successful in getting some stuff from the Nargacuga, but you weren't as successful in getting the goods from the Basil Geese. So let me do... You guys should be able to see... So if you go into the items directory, which is the little birthday present thing, you should see a folder called Monster Material. And inside of it, you should see all the stuff that you got. What's going on, Philip? How we doing today, my man? If you don't see it, I'll just have to change some stuff.
What does like the A and the W
So A means
for?
that's going to be used on armor, and W is going to be used for weapons. And Joe had asked, what if you don't wear armor? You can get clothing that has slots, so you can use any of the armor material even if you don't normally wear armor. So that kind of goes into how these things work. So the whole intention of the, I guess, Monster Hunter way of playing the game is that fighting these creatures, just like in the video game, you carve the creature or capture the creature to get the materials to get better armor and equipment. So the way that this guy has made this is you have to buy mundane items that have slots to them. So the cheaper version is 1 slot, and then it gets more expensive as you get up to, I think legendary items can hold 5 slots, but it's like a lot of money in order to get one of those. Not to mention you have to find a really good craftsman in order to even get one. But the more slots you have, the more of these monster materials you can imbue into that equipment, and essentially you're able to make your own magical items. So that's the whole thought process on at least this island, kind of, is for you guys to be able to come here whenever you want, fight creatures, get their materials, and make some magic items for yourselves. At least while you're here. Once we leave the island, obviously, if you don't ever come back, then magic items will start flowing out like normal. But currently, I'll say that all of your mundane items are only a single slot. Any magic items you already have don't have slots to them because they're already magical. They have their properties defined. So, yeah, take a look at all of them to see what exactly they do. You guys have 3 Basil Geese scales, and then you have 1 of each of the other Nargacuga pieces. So if you use a Nargacuga scale for the weapon, you won't be able to use it for the armor unless you go out and fight one. So that's a rough breakdown of how the system works. Whenever you guys kill or capture a creature, or no, when you kill a creature, you have to do a survival check to see if you successfully gain material. If you are successful, we then roll a d20 on a loot table, and that's how we figure out what material you get. If you fail the check, you get whatever the lowest piece of material is, such as the Basil Geese scale. So that's how any creature that you fight on this island, they all have a roll table, and that's how it will be utilized. I believe if you capture the creature successfully, you just roll on the table. You don't have to do a carve, but the materials are also somewhat different. And as you guys fight more and more creatures, I'll be more prone to opening up what exactly you could get and stuff like that. Otherwise, yeah, you guys got those materials, and as you were being somewhat explained what they do, which that's kind of a retcon because I didn't know exactly what you would be getting yet. So as you were being explained what these materials would be used for and how to use them, Whitlock had brought you guys to the Hunters Association guild counter, where the contracts are given out, and it was at that location that you guys met Ignatius, a very stout dwarf, decent in age, definitely on the older side of a dwarf, or a typical dwarf, I should say. And he had invited you guys to join the Hunters Association so that you could take on contracts, establish yourselves on the island, and help out whoever it is that you take contracts from. And he told you some of the stipulations. You're not to go out and just kill things all willy-nilly, because that will disrupt the balance of the island. And doing so could bring upon the wrath of the protectors, a circle of archdruids that are basically here to keep the island as balanced as possible. And there are, I guess, guidelines as to what you can and cannot hunt while you're out there, and these guidelines change based on how the ecology of all of the creatures living here are. So what he told you, because I believe someone asked, well, what do we do if we get attacked? And he said, very simple, run. So who really knows how much it takes to incur the wrath of the archdruids? That would be up to you guys if you want to even find out. But he welcomed you guys to the association. You guys were given rank A to start off with, which is actually not heard of. Most folks start at the most a B rank, but you guys got to skip to the third highest tier right out the gate because of your exploits with the basil geese. So now that you've got your guild cards, which is made entirely out of platinum, you guys met Whitlock, and he gave you your cut of the contract for the Nargacuga, as well as a bonus for you guys taking out the basil geese. He then shows you a little bit around town. You guys got to go to a workshop called R Workshop, and there you met, you somewhat met someone that called themselves Nimra, but they didn't show themselves. They only spoke over some sort of speaker system that was on the ceiling. But you met a kobold with a mechanical arm whose name was Wrench. And Trina had given Wrench a voucher, essentially, from Ignatius. And you guys were gifted the Healer Bee, or the Clockwork Healer Bee. A very useful item for a party that doesn't have much healing. So, after that, you guys went to the tavern known as the Blue Bullet and started to order drinks with Whitlock, and you were interrupted by your good old friend, Lord Saxon Carlisle, who apparently had missed you guys and was eager to hear if you guys would join up with him in a partnership to essentially achieve whatever it is that you all want to, and to help Lord Carlisle along the way. You guys talked with him for quite a while, and so far your first assignment from Carlisle is to hand over a letter that he has written for one of the hags that you're actually looking for. The hag known as Lilith Hart, who lives in the Coral Highlands. He doesn't know exactly where. That's one thing he hasn't been able to pinpoint. Something about hags and not being able to use his divination to his, I guess, his own betterment. I don't know. Either way, afterwards he let you all go. You guys had downed an entire bottle of hard liquor, And as you guys were heading back to your rooms, which were complimentary from the guild, Dr. Thorpe had to go take a massive dump. Trina went into her room and was met with Kai, or at least who she thought was Kai. The demon had renamed itself to Thermath. And Thermath had told her that he was thankful, but now that he knows that the person that trapped him inside of Kai's body is somewhere on this island, he's going to go and take care of business. And he warned Trina to not cross him as enemies, because now that he's regaining his power as an actual demon, it won't be pleasant if you ever do. And I believe right before you guys, as you guys woke up the next morning, you were met with Whitlock. And Whitlock had brought with him a few contracts that he had gotten from the guild counter earlier that morning. From what he had told you is that the contracts typically go pretty quickly once they open up the counter. So he made sure to get a variety of different creatures that you guys could possibly hunt, as well as to make sure that they were relatively close to the locations you were planning to head. So there's 2 of them that live within the forest area. There's one of them that lives within the Coral Highlands, and then there was another one that lives at the base of the mountain. 2 of the hags, you know, one of them is at the base or somewhere on the mountain. You're not exactly sure where, but that is Elsbeth. And then another one lives in the Coral Highlands somewhere, and that one is Lilith Hart. But the one that you believe that you've been pointed to that would be the most beneficial is Igwilv. But no one knows exactly where she is, except for that she's in the Rotten Vale somewhere. And from what you've been told is the Rotten Vale is not a very forgiving place. So that is where we will begin the session, is you guys waking up, meeting inside of the tavern, or I guess right outside of the main counter for the inn, and being greeted by Whitlock. And so with that, what does the party wish to do? I appreciate the stars, Philip. Sorry for continuing to babble, but that is the hardest part of streaming and being the DM at the same time as talking with the audience. Because I don't know how distracting it is for folks, especially if they're trying to listen to the RP. So I apologize.
Well, I'd like to go take a look around the shops and stuff before we head out.
I think I want a new hat.
Also, if you double click Wrench, you should see his merchant page, and you can buy the various things that he rolled on the table for having in his inventory.
Mantine is very expensive, holy shit.
Let's see.
Hey, can you explain an adamantine whip?
Yeah, I believe the tip of it, like the last, couple inches.
It's showing as a chain. That makes sense. Like in Castlevania.
Oh yeah, that works too. It's got a weight on the end of it, so that you can whoop ass in Super Smash Bros.
I see what you did there.
So Whitlock, I've already had breakfast, but I'll be hanging out around the guild counter. I've got some business with some other folk, so if you all need my assistance, that's where you can find me. And if you need a little guidance on where exactly to go for your first contract, I could point you in the right direction. Before I leave, though, you all were speaking of heading to the Rotten Vale, were you not?
Potentially. But, maybe not now, but later on down the line, yes.
Eventually.
Well, it'd be quite a ambitious journey, especially for newcomers to the island. So if you do plan on going through with such a adventure, I would highly recommend seeking out a guide and paying for their services. I've got a couple in mind, but, well, let's just say that one of them's not got the greatest success rate in their guidances, and the other one has a name that you're going to be paying for. But he'll get you there in one piece, that's for sure. So if that's something you're interested in, I can help you to meet these fellows.
Well,
Yeah, that'd be great.
Probably a good idea.
Well, he grabs a cigarette out of his jacket and lights it up and takes in a puff and goes, well, I'll go ahead and make sure that they know, at least I'll make sure that they're even in town. And if they are, I'll make sure that they know that you're potentially looking to hire them. That way they can start formulating perhaps a pathway to get you there. If you need me, I'll be at the counter. Otherwise, good luck to you. Enjoy your breakfast.
Sounds great. Thanks, Whitlock.
My pleasure. He walks out of the front door of the inn.
So, you spoke of at the shops.
Yes, I think it'd be wise to stock up on things. I honestly don't really know what it takes to take down these creatures, but might need some more things.
I agree. I think it'd be good to stock up before we head out.
Speaking of which, what do we have in the bag? If you don't mind me looking.
Yeah, you can look.
If you go to the items, Jeffrey, the items directory, you should be able to go into obtained, and you should be able to open up the bag of holding.
Everything that's in the bag is in details.
Might have to change that to observer.
Yo, this
Where is
goat
that at?
doesn't weigh anything.
The who?
Only 1 gold. A goat. It says it doesn't
Well,
weigh
that's because
anything,
you're
it
not
only costs
carrying the
one.
goat.
No. In the inventory here, for what's his name?
Wrench.
Ranch. The goat doesn't have a weight value. It's funny. Either does a hunk of cheese or magnifying glass. No, I'm not gonna buy a goat anyways, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the goat is the animal, and it doesn't have a weight unless you
'cause
carry it.
walks.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go and get a custom hat done.
Okay. So I assume you guys head to our RR workshop, or do you have breakfast first?
B.
We can
I
have
want some food.
breakfast first.
Okay.
Sorry, I just got so excited.
Yeah, no, you're
You
good,
guys
you're
want
good.
to go hunt?
Oh, also another thing I forgot. If you click on that bag of holding icon, it should open up Trina's bag of holding for you guys. So Dr. Thorpe, if you could roll me a cooking utensils.
Okay.
Is there a magic shop, or is it just Wrench?
So far, all you know is that Wrench takes care of any type of trade. At least the RR workshop is where all the trade comes from. So all the buying and selling of parts.
Are there any eggs anywhere that I could?
Oh yeah.
gather?
Yep. You go to the innkeeper, and you ask them to utilize the kitchen. And from there, they, because of the fact that you're esteemed guest for now, they give you everything that you could could possibly need. So you've got eggs, you've got bacon, you've got sausages, you've got everything that you would want to make for breakfast.
Ah, okay. Hold on a sec. All right.
What kind of meat are we having?
Happen to still have some meat from when we were staying in the forest.
This forest?
When we were in the cave. I should keep a little bit of the pork.
That's cool.
Okay. So you make some pork sausages, you make some eggs, fresh squeezed orange juice, the whole 9 yards.
I'm not wrench. How do I click off of wrench?
How do you click off a wrench?
I'm
should be.
speaking as wrench.
Oh, I see that. Are you not able to just click the spot? There's click like an open space and it go off?
Yeah, it doesn't let me. Oh, I think it maybe just did it, unless you deselect it.
I didn't do it for you. I don't think I can.
It may have been just really slow, but all good now.
Okay. So, Dr. Thorpe, it doesn't take him too long. You know, some sausage and eggs is pretty simple. 10-15 minutes. And he comes out to the tavern area where you guys are gathered. And puts a plate in front of all of you, sits down.
Towel on my shoulder. Like, all right, simple enough, but it will soothe your hunger needs.
Thanks, Dr. Thorpe.
And he just nods, eyes closed.
Nom nom.
All right, and of course, if everybody has eaten, you get an extra HP.
Yay.
That's exciting.
Perfection. Bon appetit.
Is it temporary HP?
Bone.
Oh no, it's regular HP. Just one. It's like similar to a good berry
Oh, never mind.
type of deal.
Okay. Yeah, if you're not fully healed, go ahead and heal 1. Yeah. The meal goes down. It's actually really, really good. The spices that they have here available in the kitchen are very different from those on the mainland. You're not sure if that's because you guys came from the Thurian Empire and this is the, you know, the dwarven culture, or if maybe there's just different herbs and things on this island itself that you've never been exposed to. But it was a very delectable meal. Very delicious.
Alright, let's head over to the item shop. Right? Let's go shopping.
Very well. Picking up the plates and everything and taking them back to the little kitchen area. I'll meet you guys outside.
The barmaiden greets you from over the counter. I can take that for you.
Ah, very well.
She smiles and curtsies, grabs the plates and heads into the kitchen.
All right. I'll like wipe my hands with the towel and like put it over a chair. Guess we can leave then.
Mark Songs, thank you very much for the follow. Hopefully you enjoy yourself while you're here. Are you a big fan of D&D? Alright, so you guys head to our workshop. And as you are heading up from the cobblestone pathway, you can see the Kobold Wrench, the proprietor, outside currently. He looks to be tinkering with some sort of gizmo.
Hello there.
And as he's working, he looks over at you, and he's got these goggles on, and you can see that they're very focused lenses. And you can see from the muscle structure of his eyebrows that he's squinting. Who we got there?
Just another group of hunters.
Well, what can I do for you? And he goes back to
just-
working on his tinker.
I just wanted to
Projects.
peruse your wares.
Aye, well, go on in then. Door's open. And if you need anything immediate, you can call out for me. Otherwise, I think Griff is in there working.
Okay, thank you.
Would you be able to do a custom hat for me?
He turns around and he looks at you. Aye, that's quite a small head you've got there. I don't think I can do something like that. And he stands up and starts walking
I look
towards
him
you.
up and down like he's the only person shorter than me that I've ever met.
He's like, hold on a bit. You're getting a little... Oh! And he presses a button on the side of his goggles, and you watch as the lenses start to come back into focus. And as his eyes get a little bit bigger, because they were very squinty when you were looking at them, because of the amount of magnification he had on them. Once they get to a regular size, he's like, oh, never mind. You're the halfling from yesterday. I'll be honest, tailoring's not my strongest suits. And you watch as his fingers start to change into, like his fingertips change into, what are the crochet sticks called? Do they have a name? Does anyone
Knitting
know?
needles. They're knitting
Sewing?
needles.
Knitting, okay. His fingers turning to knitting needles. He's like, but I could work something out for you if you'd really like. That's exactly how he's looking at Jim. His mole. Isn't his name Mole from Treasure Planet? Is that Treasure Planet or is it Atlantis? I can't
No!
remember.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
freaking
it was
Atlantis.
had my muted my yeah, it's from Atlantis.
Okay.
I love Mole. He is so funny.
Yeah, so his eyes were exactly like that. That was what I was
Switch his
picturing.
accent to Mole's accent. I don't even know what his accent is, but I remember
French.
it's very...
Yeah, I'd have
In
to
French.
look up a
He's
video.
French.
But yeah, he shows that he has the capability. It honestly, I don't think it would take too long. Maybe half a day's work if I started now.
Do
Are you
think
looking
could
for anything in
incorporate a-
particular?
Yeah. Do you think you could incorporate a basil geese scale into that as well?
Oh, so we're slotting stuff for you, are we?
That would be cool.
Aye, we could do that. It does cost a little extra to put the material in, but it's not too much. How big, what type of things are you wanting this hat to look like? Any particular material? Do you want like a metal helmet, or do you want more cloth?
It would be more of like the felty cloth. And-
Okie dokie.
Do you know what a... Do we have cowboy hats in this world?
You could certainly describe them.
So I want... Back in my town, we had these things called bowler hats. Do you know what a bowler hat is?
I believe so. And he starts to sort of shape it out in a very similar fashion to a bowler hat.
That's it.
Okay. I could do that, easy. So the cost of making the hat itself, with the basil geese scale included, will be about 500 gold.
500 gold.
Correct. Working with monster material is very, very, very nitpicky process. It's not easy. And if you were wanting to make this hat capable of holding 2 materials, it's going to cost you a little bit more. About 1,500 gold. And I could do 2 materials for you for that price. Otherwise, just the 1.
And platinum's worth 10 gold, right?
Correct. So you guys should all have 100 platinum.
Which is 1,000 gold.
Correct.
Oh, you know what? I didn't... Did we say Kai's money did disappear?
Yeah, he gave it back to Whitlock, saying he didn't need it.
Boo.
And so how much should I subtract? How much...
If you added... If you guys had spread it out evenly, I would think probably 25, but I don't know exactly how much all of you were getting from Kai, or if
I
you
have
upgraded.
198 platinum right now.
Because yeah, Trina and Lloyd and Thorpe are all showing the normal platinum of 100. But I don't know if you took the whole thing. You probably took the whole thing because you bought some stuff, did you?
I did not. I mean, just right now?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay, yeah. Dr. Thorpe and... Oh yeah, you bought healer's kits.
Oh, maybe, would that take from platinum?
Yeah, it would convert it if
takes
you
platinum
didn't have
first?
it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just change it to 98. That'll be... That's plenty.
So yeah, I could do a rush job for you since you're all pretty new. But normally, depending on how many hunters we've got going on, sometimes, especially more complex sorters, it does take a couple extra days. Just so you're aware for the future.
I see. I mean, might as well spend it, right? I'm about to go out. I might die out there, so...
Aye, very well could.
Spend it while you're kicking, huh?
Exactly.
And question. I pull out my my other saber. How much would it cost to add a slot to this?
He looks it up and down, and his goggles start to magnify. About the same, 500 gold if you only want 1 slot, but if you want 2 of them, 1,500, of course.
Interesting. Very well. I pretty much would I would like to add 1 slot then.
I can do that. This one will take me a day to do, though. Working on metal materials is a little more complex than making a hat.
That is fine. I do well with the 1 anyway.
Well, he takes his goggles and puts them on his forehead. Go ahead and follow me then. We'll go ahead and make the transaction. Do you have the material you're going to be using?
Oh snap, hold on. I forgot which one's too much. Hold on. Oh god.
You're good, you're good.
Alright,
Are you trying to do something with your ring, Trina?
No. I accidentally clicked on it and then I answered with as wrench, so I'm a hot mess, it's fine.
It's all good.
Alright. I'm gonna do the Narga. Narga skill.
Okay.
Narga skill, please.
Hi. So, Wrench walks you into the front, or into the door, and from there, You guys head to the counter, and he brings out a ledger, essentially, and he starts to write it down. Aye, so we're doing a hat, a custom bowler hat for Jimothy, and we're adding a Basilgi skull or scale to it. Correct?
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, all right. And then we're taking Dr. Thorpe, your saber, and we're adding the Nargacuga scale to it. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alright, so Jimothy, that'll be 500 gold pieces. We do need at least half now, and then you could pay half later, or you could go ahead and pay the full thing. How much would you like?
I'll pay the full fee.
Perfect, perfect. So go ahead and deduct 50 platinum, or any combination of platinum and gold that you have. That you would like. I can't spell scale.
Done.
And Dr. Thorpe, yours will come out to 500 gold as well. Would you like to pay half now and the other half later, or the full price?
I'll pay the full.
Perfect, perfect. Alrighty. He marks it all. He signs, and then he, this is the signature I need to show that you have paid. I have my signature as well as your own. If you would both please.
Alright. I sign.
I would assume Jim signs as well. So
I do. Sorry. Lots going on
No,
with
you're
my
good.
dog right now. Just being
All
a pain in the
good.
ass.
All good. So you guys sign. Wrench takes the gold, and he actually goes over to the side of the counter, and from there he takes the the sack of gold that he was just given. He opens up a small little cylinder. He fills the cylinder with the pieces, puts the cylinder into what looks to be some type of pipe contraption, and as he lifts up the little gate on it, you hear a whoom. Perfect. Platinum deposited. As a little receipt printer starts to print off a receipt, and he rips it off and he puts it into the ledger. He takes a bit of sealing wax and pours it on the top of the ledger and stamps it down, showing that the transaction has been completed. Alright, well, for your hat there, Jimothy, it will be done in roughly 3 to 4 hours. As for your saber, please give me about 2 to 3 days. I will work diligently on it. We've actually not been too busy. Lots more celebrating going on, I believe, than a lot of hunters going out on missions.
That is fine.
Other than that, is there anything else I could help you all with?
Just looking at your items here. Why do you have so much silvered stuff?
Well, some creatures are a little more prone to silver. Not to mention a lot of hunters actually like the aesthetic of silver. And for whatever reason, they've requested it a lot. So, we've started to silver a lot of things. But as they start hunting more and more creatures, or as they start to die and we take their stuff to resell, now we have an abundance of silvered weapons.
Do you know what creatures specifically are affected by silver?
He shakes his head. I do know that there are were creatures that live on the island, and I believe some hunters actually went out hunting them. I know they're very affected by the silvered weapons. But as for the big beast, I do not know of anything specific.
Okay. Why do you have cinnamon in here, among your wares?
Oh! He looks around. Where?
And I look towards the bottom.
And he goes
second
over.
row.
He's like, ah. And he grabs the jars and holds one of them tightly and puts the rest of them back. This is my personal stash. I do not know why I left it out. And he scratches his head. But if you wish to purchase, go ahead. I will find more, perhaps on the next trade vessel.
No, just curious if certain creatures needed it to be lured or something like that.
No, but have you ever heard of the Cinnamon Challenge?
No.
Oh, would you like to partake?
Not particularly.
Oh, well, you're no fun.
You should, Lloyd.
I will.
I'm good.
Ah,
Ren,
all right. Let me get spoons.
hold on. I need something made too.
Oh, yes, business first, then Cinnamon Challenge.
Can you make me a silver mirror that's worth 1,000 gold pieces?
That's oddly specific, but yes, I could do that. Are you in?
Perfect.
Are
Couldn't
you
just
going to be?
take any mirror and then say it's worth 1,000 gold? Buy it for 1,000 gold?
I think it works like that.
Yeah, Wrench holds out one hand and starts waving it at you while he shakes his head. That is not how it works. No. To a keen eye, you can tell how much something should be worth. And having just a mirror and saying it's worth 1,000 does not make it worth 1,000. No. I could use the materials found in some of these weapons, melt them down, and craft you a mirror. I could have that done by tomorrow morning, I bet. It sounds simple enough.
That's all I need. How much? Sorry.
Well,
I
you
already
said
know how much.
1,000.
1,000. My brain, man.
But even though it is going to be worth 1,000, I will cut you deal. We will do 900.
Okay.
Would you like to pay
And-
now or later?
I can pay
Or-
now. If you wanted to drop the price a little bit, I can also offer you a boom scale.
A what? A Narga Kuga scale?
I'm gonna pull out the boom scale from the bag of, or one of the boom scales from the bag of holding.
Oh. Yes. In fact, I will give you extra 50 gold off for that.
Okay. So I hand him the boom scale.
Okay.
For,
Okay. 850 gold.
For Namira, right?
Yes, a silver mirror, correct? One that you look at your face?
No, for Namira, like the Namira, the. Am I saying it right? The fire
exactly.
deity that
Nimra.
lives here.
Oh,
Nimra.
Nimra. Yeah, Nimra is the...
I think I spelled it wrong.
Trina Card spelt it correctly. That was me.
Cart.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes,
okay.
the scale, I was planning on giving it to Nimra, but the mirror, right? That's what you want created? A silver mirror?
Yes.
Is there any sort of inscription or engraving or style that you would like?
Something cool? I don't know. Use your imagination. I trust your
And
ability.
he gets a wicked smile on his face. Oh, I can think of some good things.
Hold on. What does that mean?
Oh, well, I've not been alive for very many years, but I have seen some great things in this encampment since I've lived here.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
You said supplies, no?
Okay. I trust you.
As you should.
Trina, did you just buy $1,000 mirror or 1,000 gold piece mirror?
I did.
Custom
She did.
1,000 gold piece mirror, and
I did.
not customize it to yourself?
I mean, if you could add crows in there somewhere, that's all I ask. The rest of it can be a surprise.
I can do that, yes. If you would, he signs the ledger and hands you the inkwell.
I sign.
And then he takes your 850 gold, which you can just subtract 85 platinum.
Okay.
He takes that, puts it in a cylinder, and does the same process. After he grabs the receipt that prints off, he puts a little wax, stamps it, and puts the ledger away for now. Alright, perfect. So yes, I will have your mirror done tomorrow morning. I will have your hat done within 4 hours or so. So come back midday. And I will have your sabers done most likely 3 days from now.
Sounds like
Now,
a plan.
he slaps his hands together and starts rubbing them. Cinnamon challenge. How much you wager, Jimothy?
I wager. What am I wagering for?
Well, I'm going to challenge you to cinnamon challenge. What we do is we take spoonful of cinnamon and you put the whole thing in your mouth and you dump it and you see who can hold it in your mouth for longest before coughing.
I see. Will you
We will
wager
do
10
this
gold
outside.
pieces?
I will do 10 gold. He fiddles
wanna
with
up
his
it?
pouch and he takes out 1 platinum piece. Wrench does not make a lot of money, but I could do
10's great. 10 gold's great.
Okay. But when I win, I will do 20.
Oh, of course.
Okay. So, he grabs spoons. Does anyone else want into wager?
I just hold a hand up and shake my head no.
I'm okay.
I'll just enjoy.
All right. So the way this is going to work, it's going to be a best of 3 Constitution saving throws between Wrench and Jimothy. Be fairly easy.
You never know.
Yeah, true. So, as he pours the cinnamon, or he takes spoonfuls of cinnamon, he puts the cinnamon in his mouth, and then he hands you yours, and has you do the same.
Dragon dice for it.
And as he
dear.
puts it into his mouth, he immediately go ahead and roll the second one.
I kind of like give him a side eye, like,
And then as he
Oh,
takes the
dear.
spoon out of his mouth, he grabs his throat. And
I
you're
go,
just kind of sitting there. Yeah. He grabs his throat and he opens his mouth. What? And he falls to his knees and he's like scraping his tongue and his insides trying to get and he's coughing. And he starts to like smack the ground. He's like, "Oh, you win cinnamon challenge easy." And he starts to scurry towards towards the table, and he grabs a water skin from behind the bar, or the, I guess, workbench, and he starts to chug it, and he swashes the water back and forth to rinse his whole mouth and swallows. He's like, He starts to beat his chest a little bit to try to get every last bit of it out. I'll be honest. That's been my worst challenge yet. I have done better. I have won. But I think I was just caught off guard. So, but, and he hands the platinum piece over to you. You win fair and square.
I swallow the cinnamon.
Oh. That is very barbaric.
Yes. I take his gold piece.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that I can help you with? And he goes behind the counter and he hops up on a stool and sits there, and he's like breathing a little deeper to make sure that he's able to.
Yes, why are you selling a goat?
Oh, actually, some hunters use the goat as a trap for a creature.
Won't that just slow us down before we get to our place?
No, it could actually lure out creature before you get to wherever you're hunting it.
I meant like along the way there.
Probably.
Do hunters usually take carts, or do they go on foot into the island?
It really depends. Some of them, once they've gotten enough of a reputation, they are allowed to purchase the flare guns that allow the airships to come and pick up their creature. But for you guys, more than likely, yes, you would need a cart.
Okay.
Or, and what some folks do, is they take, it's a little more of a gamble. You don't get much of an reward back if you do this. But you can come back to the encampment and show the location of the corpse, and we can send out a team dedicated to perimeter control, and they will bring the corpse back so you don't have to.
See.
It does cost a bit of a fee, about a 25% charge from your normal contract reward. And you still have to pay that even if the corpse is gone, because some creatures do go out there and they feast on them.
Okay. Who sells carts and horses and things like that?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
How does
Carts,
that last?
though, most carts are not horse carriage. We don't have many horse here because they keep getting eaten.
What do
So
you
we have
usually
stopped
have?
requesting them. But we do have hand carts. Most creatures only take one hand cart. Some of them do take two. But they are maneuverable to where they won't slow you down too terribly much.
Okay. So there's no way of putting a goat in a cart and having... Okay, so better just to drag the goat along with us if we do decide to take one?
Yes.
Okay. I see you have this portable ram. Do people use those for anything particular here?
Well, we used to do what we would call battle games with the other encampments. So people would use the ram to go and break down their doors. They have stopped doing that because of the last time the protectors had attacked us. We felt that we should strengthen each other's defenses instead of tear them down.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's really good at making a lot of noise in the middle of the forest. Some creatures hear it as a headbutt from other creatures, and if you're in the right territory, they may come to investigate.
Like, so the creatures we might be looking at would most likely be the Glavinus or the Zenogo.
Ah, the Zenogre and the Glavinus, yes. Those are apex predators. They usually hunt other creatures, so if you were to use that portable ram, it would be more than likely bring out one of those creatures. If they're in the area, of course.
Okay.
All creatures territorial. Most regions have apex predators, and many of them.
Okay. Well, this block and tackle set, I'm gonna get one of those. Do I just click on it, Brady?
Yeah, just buy anything you want from Wrench.
I forget how do I add it to my inventory? Again, do I drag and drop?
Oh, you should click the buy stack, and it should. Or no, if you click buy stack, it'll buy every one of them. If you click on buy item, it'll put it in your inventory automatically.
Okay. Can I?
Oh, that's why I bought all the healers kits.
Can I choose?
Did you only want one?
How many were in the stack?
I think it was 3.
Oh, 5. Yeah, I did only want 1.
Okay.
But 5's fine. That's a lot of healing kits.
Is it possible to drag and drop it into the bag of holding?
Once it's on your sheet, you can do that.
Yes. Okay.
You should be able to. If you can't, if you don't see it populate, tell me and I'll do it.
Okay. I had to refresh my page because it no GM active or something.
That's weird. I'm right here.
Yeah, you know, you said like 10 minutes ago, like you don't have access to edit the thing, so. Let me try it
Gotcha.
again. Okay.
And remember, let's see. You took out one of the scales, right? You took out 2 scales.
I only have 1 scale left.
Okay.
Let me see what I have. I want to go up to Wrench and ask, do you have a any incense or brazier by chance?
He scratches his head. I do not believe so. I am not very religious, so I don't have any reason. But if you go to the encampment that has the humans, the Thurian Empire, I bet they would.
Do you have a map of the area by chance?
He shakes his head. I do not venture outside of encampment.
Okay. I'm assuming the map I have, Brady, does not contain the this area. I think I have
Correct.
a basic map. Okay. Do you know which way the encampment is, or what part of the island the human encampment's on?
He strokes his chin. I believe the humans have taken up residence in the Rotten Vale, the Thurian Empire. They see it as a plague, and they want to use their gods and their worship to cleanse it. But very, 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 very suicidal task, if you ask me.
I cannot seem to drag and drop this into the bag of holding, Brady.
Okay. Is it just the stuff that you just bought that you want?
Yeah, like the tools, like the crowbar, the tackle box set, what else?
Okay.
The
I have
ram.
put it, the portable RAM, yeah.
Okay.
I've put it in there for you.
Did I already? I'm trying to double check. Do I already have a pickaxe or miner's pick? I cannot.
Doesn't look like it.
No, I'll get one of those in the grappling hook. How much rope do you got?
Hmm. How much do you need?
Get like 1,000 feet. How much that cost,
1,000
would
feet?
cost? Yes. How much would that cost?
That's a lot.
It is.
I
Just
can do
curious.
200.
How much would that cost?
10 gold pieces.
Okay. If you could also put that in the bag, Brady.
Okay.
And,
Do you happen to have any more crossbow bolts?
I believe you just bought all of the rest of it I had. Some hunters came in earlier and they bought out a lot of my freshly created.
Very well.
But
That
I
is
try
no problem.
to make more every night, but if orders keep packing up, unless there is a high demand.
I will remember that. Thank you. And Thorpe just steps back.
when it says oil flask, is that just the empty flask, or does it have oil in the flask? Like, is it a flask for oil, or does it have oil in the flask?
It'll have some oil in it.
Okay. Just dumb questions. Want to check. Do you have any regular like string?
Yes.
Can I have a ball of string?
Sure. 2 silver.
Okay. Did you take off the? No, you did not take off the 10 gold with the rope, so I take it off.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I did. Yeah, I took the 10 gold off and 2 silver. Did you add the rope to the bag or no?
I did. It's in the bag.
Okay, I'll keep the string on me. What should I call it?
Just call it a ball of yarn or some ball of string.
Okay. There you are. Okay. Any more, you have any empty vials or jars?
He shakes his head. I do not usually hold those types of things. Would you like me to put in a request for when they go back to the mainland?
Sure, yeah, some vials, jars, paper, like parchment, ink, that sort of thing.
Yes, we're not used to having alchemists or wizards among us, so yes, we don't normally have that kind of thing. I apologize.
No, you're all good. Did you perhaps put an order in for a brazier and some incense?
Sure. It will be a special order.
How much would that be particularly?
5 gold to make the request, because the dwarves, I don't believe, usually carry that type of thing.
Okay. I deduct you 5 gold.
Okay.
But
But yes, the next order won't be in for a few days. I don't know exactly. It depends on how the weather holds up.
okay.
They usually go by sea.
Does anyone here have a map of the area?
He kind of shrugs. If they do, it will be at the Hunters Commission.
Okay.
But I think most of the hunters pride themselves on learning the environment and committing it to memory.
I see,
Once
I
you
see.
get out on your first contract, you'll understand. You don't
Okay.
have much time to consult map.
No, I completely understand. One more thing. I looked at everybody. Do we want to bring a goat? Or do you think it just slow us down? I honestly think it's going to slow us down, but...
I mean, it's not the worst idea, because
Worst case scenario, if you
Use it
find
as
yourself
bait.
really hungry, you could eat it.
Yeah, I mean, it's food, it's also bait, and also if we need to run away from something.
Leave it behind.
Yeah.
Okay. I buy the goat.
Okay.
My gold went up. Why did my gold go up?
Probably because it used the platinum.
Okay.
What should we name it?
A word of advice, if I may. Do not name a critter that you plan to either eat or sacrifice to a larger critter. It will only depress you.
Yeah, and Thorpe like points to him. He's like,
His name is Billy.
Oh boy.
Billy the goat.
Well,
I'll feed him and I'll potty train.
Wrench
Thorpe-
scratches
Am I
his
doing
head.
exactly what they said not to?
Thorpe just hits it and just. Alright.
okay. Do you, good sir, do you happen to have, let's see, any, like, shovels or anything of that nature?
What do you need shovel for?
Just an idea. Making, like, a trap.
That is a good idea. But no, I do not have shovel. We use shovel that we have, but we only have one. I could make you a shovel for one
it's
gold
okay,
piece.
okay. No, I'm okay. Brady, the spell. I still have access to the spell book that Agent J had, right?
Correct.
How long?
But
would it
finding
take me to
spell
learn?
materials, I think, to do it is near impossible here. As there
Okay,
are
so-
no wizards around that you know of.
So, say to learn the spell, I just need to expend gold, right?
Correct, and the gold is essentially buying the components needed for the spell.
Okay.
So if you do the research on what the spell component actually is, and it's something that's pretty common, like if it was butter or something like that,
Yeah.
then yeah, you could learn that spell for the material components that it normally costs based on whatever
Okay.
the level is.
We have a component pouch within the bag of holding, which should have all essential components, right?
In theory, for casting of the spells, yes. But for learning them, because of the amount that it requires and the time that it takes for Lloyd to master being able to use the spell, it would not.
Okay. Unless it's like, okay. So say I wanted to learn like Fireball, that takes like Backquano, right? So
Yeah,
I need
let
to find a bunch.
me. Yeah,
That
if you
would-
find some bats,
sulfur.
you can do it that way. For
Would
sure.
he happen to have sulfur? The wrench?
Good thing we're going to a volcano.
Yeah.
I believe we do because we
Going
make
to
some.
a cave on a volcano. I think we'll find what you're looking for there.
Perhaps.
If you are going to the volcanic area, yes, you will find.
Okay. So say I wanted to
And
learn
it takes 2 hours and 50 gold for each level of spell that you're going to learn.
So it's a third level spell. I'm gonna need 6 hours and 150 gold.
Correct.
Okay. Say I want to learn Dimension Door, but I don't see any material components.
It will still cost the same. In terms
50 gold
of
times level.
yeah,
Okay.
2 hours and 50 gold times level.
Okay. So I have platinum is worth 10 gold, or how's
You
that
said
work again?
platinum. Yeah, 1 platinum is 10 gold. So every 5 platinum that you use will learn you a spell.
Okay. Could I subtract the money for one of my spells now, or
Sure.
can I? Or like I can't do dimension. I can't do fireball because I don't have the sulfur, right?
Correct.
So I want to do.
Yeah, but if Dimension Door doesn't have any material components to it,
It does not.
Even though it is just flavor, then yeah, you can just deduct it, and you're essentially just practicing using ink and paper and stuff.
Okay, and then so 4 times 5 is 20 platinum.
Yes.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
Is Dimension Door level 4?
Yes.
It is. Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, and it'll take you 8 hours to learn it.
Okay. Can I have tried to learn some of that last night at all?
Let me see. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't say anything specific on needing to do it all in a single session. So I would say that yeah, you can use 3 of the hours of a long rest that can be used for like light study and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you'll have 5 hours that you got to do in order to finish it.
Can I just add it for now and have like a counter on it or something?
Yeah, we can add Dimension Door to your character sheet, and you just aren't able to use it because it's not done.
Okay.
And I'll actually I'll put in your downtime.
Yeah.
I'll just make it'll be called Dimension Door.
There it is. Okay, yeah, I'm like, there's something, it's not in journal, I knew it was somewhere else. Okay. And then I can't learn cantrips, right? I can't just study his cantrips, because that's a no-go.
Correct, you can't learn new cantrips until you level up.
Okay.
Okay, so you got 3 hours out of 8 completed for that. Neato, what a good way of using that mod.
Yeah. Okay. So and then I think I am good.
Well, Wrench, thanks you very much for your patronage. I will start getting to work on all those items for you. 4 hours for you, Jim, and I will have your hat. Do you have a color preference?
Black.
Okie dokie, I can do that.
Thank you, Wrench.
Oh yes, thank you, thank you. And he gets off of his stool and he starts heading towards one of the sides of the workbench. And you can see that he's starting to pile material on material onto the workbench as he's about to get to work. And then he calls back, Griff! We got orders! Aye! You see a dwarven fellow come from back behind the furnace. He also has a very similar arm made out of metal, definitely amputated from something. And he walks forward with a big ass hammer in his fleshy arm. What am I making? And Wrench hands over the saber. That needs to be given a Narga Kuga scale. And I told him it would take about 3 days. Aye. Hopefully Nimra's got enough fire for this thing. And what is that you're making? As he's peering over. By the gods, is that a Basilgi scale? You all are the ones that took that creature out?
I guess word travels, yeah.
Oh yes, small town, lots happen, or not much happens in this town. So, of course, the exploits of your group, Obsidian Oath, right?
Something like that.
Aye, I heard all about it from your tavern meeting last night. Very good. I can't wait to see what all you bring to the encampments. And I can't wait to work on all of the things that you bring me. This is my passion. And he holds out his arm, his metallic arm. You know, that very same Bazhugis is the one that took me arm. About 20 years ago or so, I think. It's been a long while. I was but a lad.
I see.
So, I won't waste any of your time. Obviously, you're very busy, and I've got work to do for the Obsidian Oath after all. Haha.
Of course.
Good luck on your next travels, and can't wait to see what else you bring me. And he grabs, and you can see there's a jolly smile on his head, or on his face, as he starts to walk towards the anvil and the furnace that are probably 10 feet away from the workbench. And he calls into some sort of like metallic cone. He's, Nimra, give it all you've got! And you can hear a low growl come from somewhere. And all of a sudden, the furnace, you can see the embers and the coals that are laying on it. Like they're not hot or anything. It's early in the morning. They haven't started actually crafting. So it's just a layer of black. But as you look at it, you can start to see through the cracks in between all the coal pieces the red glow. And as it begins to grow and grow, within 5 seconds of it first starting to glow, all of a sudden the entire furnace bursts into flames, and the immense heat takes you all by surprise as you kind of like, you're like, holy shit. Much like when you first start a fire, if you're using gasoline. So that burst of energy and heat takes you all by surprise, and Griff's just ha 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 ha! Let's get to work! And he starts going to town on putting that Nargacuga scale into your saber, Dr. Thorpe.
Intriguing.
Well, if there's not much left for you, we'll begin working, and I'll see you in a few hours with your hat.
I look back to the rest of the group. So now what? We're gonna go back to the hunters
Yes.
area.
I guess we must retrieve our contract.
And
Good luck.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thorpe nods. And it really depends on what we see there. I know we have to hit certain locations.
I was thinking we go to the volcano first.
Yeah, I think we were gonna do the scary T-Rex thing.
Yeah, there's the
Argus
and Zanoga.
The Zanogar is in the ancient forest area. The Glavinus is the one that's near the volcanic area.
I thought you said the Zanogar is in the volcano, on the way to volcano.
On the way, yes.
Yeah.
Because you got to go through the forest to get there.
And then he said that Toby Gadachi is
In the forest as well.
forest.
And the only one that you guys were given from Whitlock anyway, that could be elsewhere, would be the Lugania.
Lugania, and that's the ice creature.
Yeah, that's the one in the Coral Highlands.
Okay. And that's to the north, I'm thinking, like northeast?
Correct.
Okay. Well, do we see the big-ass volcano in the distance?
Not from here, no.
Okay.
There's too many trees that cover up a lot of the horizon.
Okay. Well, my vote is to go in the volcano. Not sure what you guys want to do. I wanted to take on the Glavinus.
Yeah, and that's where one of the hags are, so...
Yeah.
The closest one.
Very well. I believe we need to find potentially things to defend from the heat.
Oh. Perhaps. I didn't see anything in the store. Did you guys?
I did not.
Yeah, I saw something. It was called "Don't Be a Bitch."
I see. I must have missed that because I didn't see any of that in his wares.
Well, I hope you all have a change of clothing. We're all gonna get sweaty.
Don't even
boy.
wear clothing.
Anyway.
All right. Very well. Guess we should be on our way.
And you, Trina? What about you?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Well, let's go to the Hunter's Lodge, is it? Association? Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys head back to the Hunters Association, and as you walk in, you do see Whitlock is currently talking to some folks, but he does notice you come in, and he tells them all to hold up a moment. He'll be right back. He comes over to you guys. Well, seems like you all outfitted yourselves pretty nicely. Was Wrench able to use any of those materials you got?
Yeah, he's making some stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend making as much as possible. You're gonna end up being a lot more useful, especially once you start getting the hang of hunting these creatures. The more powerful items you got. Did you end up coming to a conclusion as to what you were gonna hunt first out of those contracts I secured?
I think we kind of did. The Glavinus, the one-horned creature.
Oh, going for that. Starting up with A+, I see out the gate. All right. Well, if you would go ahead and just tell that to the woman at the counter. She'll make sure that contract is for you only, and then she'll take those other contracts and disperse them amongst the other hunters that are still looking for work. And she should be able to give you a little more tips and such as to where the creature could be found. In terms of where you're headed, I do believe that one was at the base of the volcano, which in all honesty shouldn't be too very difficult to find. You just gotta find the plume of smoke that's in the sky and head towards it. But would you want a guide perhaps, or?
I'm not opposed. I looked at everybody else.
Yes, a guide if possible.
That'd be great.
I kind of look more bait.
Incorrect.
Do you have
But
some in
I
mind?
catch your meaning. Anyway, you all go on to the counter then, and I'll go round up the ones that I know are around.
Okay. Oh, one more thing. So say we lose said guide, right, along the way, not intentionally, you know. I'm sure these things happen. Is there like a general map we can acquire, or at least the
He
basic
shakes his
landmarks?
head. The guides take upon the internal intricacies of the island using their brains. And somehow they've gotten the commission to agree to no map making outside of what it is that they've found. Some way of helping to surge business, I guess, within the hunting association, as well as to give some hunters that aren't so keen on fighting these creatures maybe more of a route of discovery.
Okay.
And don't forget, I can always talk to nature too.
Okay.
You can talk to nature? Like to trees and shit?
Essentially, yeah.
That's pretty wild. Literally.
Oh, do you know where the other settlements are at?
The other who?
Settlements, other encampments.
Vaguely. I've not actually been to any of them, but I know in the northern portions, to the west of the large mountains in the Coral Highlands, you'll find that settlement. Almost smack dab in the middle of the desert, you'll find that settlement. And then in the right where the Coral Highlands meets the what's it called? The Rotten Vale is where you'll meet that settlement.
Do you know which one the human one is?
The human one is the one in the Rotten Vale. I believe they go by the name of Myth Hollow.
I remember now. Okay. That's all I had. Thank you, thank you.
He walks away and heads back to talking to the people he was talking to, and he bids them farewell and goes to other folks. So as you guys head up to the counter, the lady at the counter, "Aye, have you picked a contract?"
Yes, we did.
"And which one?"
The Clavianus, the
Glavinus. Big old brutish
Just call it
creature.
the Glavianus.
Listen here, I'm still learning these words.
Well, make all the jokes you want. This creature is not to be trifled with.
Oh, of course not.
So I will not go in with a light-hearted attitude either. Watch out for its tail. If it starts to put its tail in its mouth, that's when you're in trouble.
The region we're going to, do we need to worry about, like, I don't know, the terrain, or do we need to wear any protective clothing?
Last sighting of the Glavinus was on the outskirts of the ancient forest near the mountain, the volcano rather. It shouldn't be too big of an issue, going as you are. It's usually once you start to climb the peak and get close to the, where the lava is where you have to start worrying about having some cool drinks on hand.
Okay.
And since not many hunters here to go there, we don't usually have them available, but I bet the wrench could order them special for you if you wish.
Well, I don't know if we'll be going up there regardless, but yeah, we could ask before we leave. We're heading back to him anyway.
If you could hand me all the contracts. She takes all the ones you didn't choose to do, and she pins them up on the board. And from there are some hunters that are looking, and a few of them come up and start inquiring about those creatures to some of the other ladies that are behind the counter. But she puts a stamp onto the contract for the Glavinus. The creature is wanted dead or alive, your choice. The reward is 200 platinum pieces, regardless of whether it's dead or alive, but 50 extra platinum per party member if it's captured. The creature in question is missing its left horn.
Interesting. Good to know.
You said 50 extra gold of what?
50 extra platinum pieces per party member if it's captured alive.
How does one usually capture these things alive?
Well, you got to weaken it, and then you have to use special toxins that you'll find within the area in order to make it fall asleep, essentially. And you'll need a really large trap.
Any suggestions on these traps?
Have you not seen Wrench yet? If you haven't met him, he's at a location called RR Workshop. He sells carts, and he should also be able to procure you a trapping mechanism. But, let it be known, the trapping mechanism is not a one-off thing, or it is a one-off thing. Once you use it, it's destroyed, and they're not very cheap.
Is there any, I don't know, is there like an encyclopedia of general monsters, or their traits and whatnot?
There is for researchers, but you are not researchers, you are hunters.
I see.
The
and then poisons?
The poisons. Well, let me backtrack. The entire premise of the Hunters Association is to allow hunters the chance to get knowledge on their own of these creatures, to find better tactics, and only to share in times of great peril. The hunters do occasionally go out together and they help each other out, but everyone is trying to get the greatest title of the SS rank, and you cannot do that with sharing information like that.
See. Thank you. How long do we have on this contract?
You have a 10-day.
Okay.
If you are not back in a 10-day, the contract will be voided, and it will be given to someone else.
Well, that's all I really had. Thank you, thank you.
She takes the contract and puts it on the billboard, and you can see a stamp. It says "In progress," and she posts it back on the billboard. She comes back around. Thanks again.
Brady, just as a reference, can you show us what the creature looks like again? The glavinus? Okay. Angry lava monster. Okie dokie.
Fun time.
We made a mistake.
Huh?
Yeah, I think we did.
You mean you made a mistake? I just follow.
Fucking sheep.
Aye. And Whitlock comes over, and with him he has a figure that walks with him that's wearing pale white robes. They have a sort of a, not necessarily a satchel, but something similar to it on their left hip. And you can see there's a bunch of metallic tags that are pinned all over it. They have a wide-brimmed white hat that they use to cover their face, and they've got a war pick in their hand. And as they walk up, Whitlock says, "Found one of the folks that usually does the guidances and such like that. This here's Dusty." And as Dusty looks up from the wide-brimmed hat, you see a Warforged. You can see
there.
the glowing eyes. They are a dull white, looking at you. And as you say hello,
Dusty?
Dusty bows their head. Dusty's not much of a speaker. In fact, I believe Dusty had it removed. So the funny, peculiar thing about Dusty is we have no idea what gender they prefer, and they've never really answered the question on whether they're a he or a she. So we just call him Dusty.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Dusty. And I reach out my hand.
And Dusty looks at it and analyzes your hand, takes the war pick into their left hand, and reaches out a hand and grasps it slightly less firm than you would think a Warforged is capable of, and shakes your hand.
Okay.
And just from that handshake, go ahead and roll me a general intelligence check. Should be able to click on
Int.
yeah,
Ability
int,
check?
and it'll be the left one. Yeah, ability check.
Damn, that's bad.
Yeah, so just by shaking Dusty's hand, you obviously can tell that they are completely made out of metal, which is pretty neat. I don't believe Lloyd has ever gotten the chance of meeting a Warforged, probably. So you can't really infer anything special about the properties of what they are actually created out of.
Okay. So Dusty, we plan to be going to the big volcano on the island. Do you know approximately how far away that is from here? How long it's going to take us?
Dusty nods his head, or nods their head, yes.
I
How much for your services, Dusty?
Dusty puts his war pick on his back. He pulls out a notepad and an inkwell and starts to scribble down. And as he finishes scribbling, he hands the notepad over to you, Trina. And in black ink, you can see the words come across as the volcano is roughly 42 miles. The Glavinus you're hunting should be found within 10 miles of that location. Given this information, if we go at a steady pace, not worried about danger, we should be there within 2 days. If we want to take it slower and not risk anything, it will take 3. And that's just to get there. The trip back will be different because we'll have a large creature that we're hauling back. But most creatures understand the strength of a Glavinus, so I don't foresee us being attacked on the way home. For my services, the entire trip, I will charge you 50 gold pieces a day.
Very well. That can
Sounds
be
good to me.
Okay.
So Dusty takes back the notepad, tears off the sheet of paper, snaps their fingers, which you see has some sort of like flint and steel effect, and the piece of paper goes up in flames and then falls to the ground in ashes. Dusty then writes more onto the notepad and presents it. About when do you want to leave? I would need a minimum of 1 hour to be ready for this task.
I wanted to ask Dusty, in what capacity do you help us fight if it comes to that?
Dusty takes back the notepad, puts on a new piece of paper, but doesn't incinerate the previous one, and Dusty writes. And as Dusty completes writing, Dusty presents it. It says, I will help you at all costs in recognizing threats and whether or not you should take those threats head on. If we are to be chased by a creature, I will help to ensure that you get away as we run away, but in no capacity am I to fight with you. I am a guide. I am not a hunter.
Understood.
Dusty takes that notepad piece, snaps their fingers, incinerates it, and then goes
When
back
do you
to their
guys wanna
previous
leave?
page.
I want to wait for my hat, which is like in an hour now, so.
Well, he says he needs at least a minimum of an hour, so maybe
Your hat should be
say
another 3.
We've been talking for like an hour.
Yeah, and
a
it takes
half.
4.
Oh, I thought you said 3. Well, whatever. How about after the hat is done? So it gives you 2.5 hours.
Dusty takes that notepad sheet, incinerates it, writes on a new one, hands it over to you, and it says, Dusty will meet you at the entrance of the encampment in 3 hours. I will have everything that I need, so make sure that you are prepared for at least 6 days of travel. Hopefully, at most. Dusty incinerates that page and writes another one. If you're bringing a cart, make sure you bring 2 for this creature.
I look over to Trina. You have the flare gun, right? Or do I look over to Jim or to you?
I don't remember which one he gave it to.
let me look.
Doesn't truly matter who got it. Dusty takes the notepad, incinerates it, writes on a new piece of paper, reveals it. If you don't need carts because you have a flare gun, that will make this a lot easier.
Yeah, that's the case.
We have a flare gun somewhere.
Correct. Yeah, someone's got it for sure. That much I do know. So Dusty incinerates that page, folds the notebook, and nods their head to you all, and then proceeds to walk out of the guild hall. And Whitlock, smoking his cigarette, goes, I've traveled with Dusty when I was a new hunter, and you'll get no one better. One thing, though, that you need to keep in mind is obviously Dusty is mute. Do not lose sight of Dusty, but they will make sure that you're taken care of.
Okay.
But I have noticed that sometimes folks don't pay attention to where Dusty went. They go a wrong way, and now they're in bigger trouble than they were originally. It is a very dangerous world out there. This island is not for the faint of heart.
Well, thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Once you get back, I guess, we'll have to celebrate for your first successful contract.
Sounds good to me.
That we will.
Indeed.
Thanks for your
Well,
help, Whitlock. Hope you hunt
You're
safe.
welcome. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and take on that Tobakadachi. I need something a little lighthearted after yesterday's adventure.
Fair enough.
He walks away. Good luck on your hunt. We'll see you here in a few days, I guess.
Good luck, Whitlock.
Yep, we will.
I'm going to let the dogs out because Rosie is begging to go outside, so I will be right back.
Okay, I'll get some water.
Yippee-i-oh.
testing. Test 1, 2. Does anybody hear me? Alright. I got a story for you. And, it ain't a good one. See, this party, the Obsidian Old, they're gonna die. They're gonna die by this creature. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. See, as a monster hunter specialist, you know, this creature is, not cool, pun intended. And, man, people are getting singed tonight. Ooh.
Way to stay upbeat and positive.
What? What? What are you talking about? I don't know what that
So
was.
positive. That was like the most positive pep talk I've ever heard.
Now do it in the DJ form.
Yeah, do it in the Jason Derulo voice.
Don't know the beat.
Oh no, here we go.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You see, everything just got updated. Everybody's ready to battle. They hate the creature today, and they're gonna get ready to get wrecked. This creature is no joke. Sorry to burst your bubble, but this is not gonna be easy. But I been attuned to this party. The Obsidian O. Nice name, by the way. It has some oomph to it. I enjoy that name. Good luck to the party. I'll be back next time.
That shit's funny. It's the fucking background music that gets me.
It is like the most epic background music.
It's a nice beat, yeah.
That's intermission. I'm gonna do that from now on. Intermission guy. Every time an event happens.
The best intermission music that I have right now is gonna be this right here.
Or keep that on. I'm gonna.
Well. Got some new music today. I hope everybody's ready for a party. Hands up.
The music from
Hands up.
Ragnarok.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
The Grandmaster's theme. I love that shit. It's my birthday. It's my birthday.
From his orgy ship.
Yup. Oh, don't touch anything. Okay.
Jeff Goldblum nailed that role. By the
He
way.
Yeah, he really
was
did.
amazing as the Grandmaster. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So we gotta go get traps.
We don't have to get it alive.
Well, I'm just interested in how much that they are and whatnot.
I would assume we get more materials that way.
Yeah.
Getting it alive.
True.
Let's get those traps, just in case. If it goes too south, then of course we'll have to disperse of it.
Okay. So as you guys start to leave to head towards the workshop, you walk outside and you only take maybe 3 or 4 steps before Obsidian Oath. That's who you all are, eh?
And I turn to look at who's asking.
And you see a dwarf face full of jewelry. He's got a crossbow that he's currently restringing, and he's leaned against the wall, outside wall, as he's doing this. And he looks up, and as he smiles, all his teeth are of a platinum color. I happen to hear that perhaps you all needed a guide, someone worth their mettle. I could be that guide.
Oh,
We
he's
heard the offer, but
he's way cooler.
We
have a guide.
we already have a guy.
How much? What's your price?
You have a guide and you chose Dusty? I hope you're ready for one of you to at least get lost or perhaps even die. I could make sure none of that is even a possibility. And my price, it might be out of your budget, honestly, if you went with Dusty. Dusty is the cheapest guide that we've got here in the encampment, but I can tell you one thing. I'm the only guide that is of S rank or higher. I've also been the only guide to successfully lead multiple expeditions from here to the Rotten Vale without incident. But because I know how much my time is worth, and I know the treachery between here and there, it is quite a premium service now.
Well, we'll keep that in mind.
What is
thank you.
the price?
Well, it's a first down payment, each of you, 25 platinum. And then it's 5 platinum each day that we're out on the road together. Each.
Oh, you're correct.
But
Yeah, that's an.
aye, you're going for the glaviness. You'll have plenty to fund your trip to the Rotten Vale with that. Especially if you capture it alive. Shouldn't be too hard for hunters that start out at A rank, eh?
That's the hope.
I'll tell you what. I'll only charge you 5 platinum a day. Each, of course. If you do bring the glavinus back alive, but I want one of the materials you get from it. Perhaps its horn. I heard it's missing one. I'd like the other.
Well, if we bring it back alive, we'll certainly consider it.
I would hope that you
We'll
do.
cross that bridge when we come to it, you know?
Yeah.
I
We have a
totally
guide.
understand. If you call that contraption a guide.
Well, we call it affordable.
Well, at least we're on the same page. It is exactly it.
I must say,
What the fuck is wrong with your voice?
I forgot I had this shit too long.
Clark got a cold.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Alright. I must say, you are a hell of an advertiser. But, you must understand. We are balling on a budget, as they would say.
Aye. Yes, you've already paid quite a hefty sum for your trinkets that you're getting made. So perhaps a hunt or two and you can afford my services.
So
And I
you've
would
been
say
watching us.
it is worth it.
So you've been watching us.
I watch everyone. Not to mention talk of the town, easy to hear.
Interesting.
Well, we'll be sure to keep you in mind for future hunts.
Oh,
Your name?
much appreciated. Did I not give you my name? Ah, Sometimes I forget that. I forget that some folks aren't from here. My apologies. He puts the crossbow against the wall and stands up straight and walks towards you. Holds out a hand, which is each finger has a ring, if not multiple rings on it. The name is Dolgran. Dolgran Lightfront.
Dr. Giles Thorpe. I grab his hand and look him square in his eyes.
And he gives you a nice firm handshake, and he does not avert his gaze, and he stares at you intently. And you can see he's starting to study you. Ah, you're a intellectual fella, are you? There's a darkness in your pupil that I can tell. You've done some bad things, have you, Dr. Thorpe? But I'm no judge. I'm definitely no priest. You don't have to confess to me. But, I'd be mindful of the Rotten Vale and who lives there. And the rest of you? He goes over to you, Jimothy. Halfling? Strong? Quick on your feet, are you? What's your name?
I'm Jim. Three-toed Jim.
And he looks down at your toes, and he kind of does one of those like, huh, that's weird. Kind of looks. He's like, I'm sure there's a whole story, and perhaps maybe if you catch me at the tavern, you could tell me about it. I love a good story.
Perhaps.
He reaches out for a handshake.
I reach out as well and shake his hand.
And then he walks over to Lloyd. And I heard you've got magic tricks and shit.
That might be the case.
That might even make it easier for us to get to the Rotten Vale, in all honesty. But, can't say I've ever met a wizard on this island before. One thing to note for you, wizard, is the Rotten Vale, that encampment, the Thurian Empire, all that. I'm sure you've heard the stories of what they deem to be a blight on this world is the very practice that gives you your power, huh?
Yeah, I've heard.
So, unfortunately for you, that means I've got hot cargo. 10 platinum a day for you. Just so you're aware. But
Keep it in mind.
it's worth it. And he gives you a very toothy smile, and you can see as the sunlight hits it, the shine and splendor of his teeth. I would very much keep it to the forefront of your mind. Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
And this is a rare beauty. I'm so used to dwarven's women, and they're starting to lose their finesse. A half-elf stands before me, dressed in all black, beautiful. My lady, what is your name?
Trina.
Thank you for gracing my ears with such a melody that is your voice. For you... He does what?
He stands in front of Trina.
Oh, my apologies. I was about to give your lady here a extreme discount on my services, but I can see that she's already taken, so no bribery needed, I guess.
She's not taken. She can defend herself.
He looks at her and then does it after you gesture. and backs away.
What kind of discount are we talking?
Well, if you use my services, 2 platinum for the lady a day.
Thank you.
A very, very modest discount, if I might add. And he reaches out his hand to hold yours. Much like he's gonna kiss the hand of royalty, essentially.
Well, I do have my signet ring, so I guess I'll give him my hand.
Okay.
I want that.
And he does. He does give you a kiss on the hand. The pleasure of this meeting is all mine. And he gives you a wide, toothy grin. Remember the name of Dolgron when you return back from your hunt. And keep in mind how Dusty treats you. Because I will treat you very much better. And we will get to our destination faster and safer. So, I do not want to keep you. And he goes back, grabs his crossbow, which he had finished stringing. Until we meet again, Obsidian Oath. And he starts walking away, and he just waves one hand over his shoulder for a couple seconds and then starts moving forward.
Rena turns to Thorpe and she's like, "Yay! I got a discount for next time."
He hears her, but he's still staring in that dude's direction with a blank stare. We should go.
It's okay.
You see him do like as he's walking away. Thorpe is still standing there staring at him, but it was like slightly doing the Michael Myers head tilt.
I hate that I know how well
I know
Thorpe
exactly what
does
that is.
that. Yeah.
And then he just after a while doing that, he just blinks and like, all right, we should go.
Well, don't we have a few hours we still have to kill? Do you want to explore the encampment with me a little bit? See what else we might have missed?
Sure.
We'll meet you guys back here. Unless you guys want to come with us. Boy, Joe.
I'm go by the trap or whatever.
Yeah, traps.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't have these items on Wrench, but when you go to him, I can do ya. I've got 2 types of traps. I've got the pitfall trap, which is not as strong as the other option, which is the shock trap. The pitfall trap, essentially what you do is you lay it down, and after a few moments, any pressure on this location from a very large creature like the Glavenus or smaller triggers the trap, and it shoots up nets. And as long as the creature isn't super duper strong or super lucky, it will remain in place for you to either beat down on it or to try to capture it with the tranquilizer bombs.
And the other one?
The shock trap, it's a little easier. It doesn't... Strong creatures, and usually the bigger the creature, the stronger they are. This one is more of their fortitude, their body's ability to fight off the electricity that puts it in a similar stasis. But you just put this device, and he pulls up what pretty much looks like a, think of a landmine, essentially, you know. You put this down, activate it, and when the creature steps on it, shoots out a jolt of electricity, and as long as it overcomes the creature's physical fortitude, it will be there for you to wail on and possibly capture.
What would be better for the gladness?
He kind of shrugs. He's like, I honestly don't know. But the
What are the
Glavenus is a
prices of
pretty
each?
strong. Pitfall Trap will run you 700 gold, and a Shock Trap 1,000.
Oh, I see.
Yes, they're not cheap because they're not super easy to make.
What do you guys think?
Yo, I think it's just me and you, but I'm thinking, dude, we're already getting rid of like 300 gold to our stupid dusty guy, and now if we buy the crappy trap that might work, that's half of the reward already. Plus the price of bringing it back with the flare gun is 25%. We're gonna lose money on this fucking thing.
No, the flare gun doesn't lose you money. It's when you leave the corpse, come back to the encampment, and send out a group to go retrieve it. That's when you lose 25%.
Oh, gotcha.
The flare gun is just a very ease of use. Fire it off. You don't have to carry it back.
I don't know. What do you think? I don't have enough money anymore.
I mean, I have enough, but I think that using the goat might be easier. How does the other trap work again? The electric trap? How does it activate?
It steps on
Yeah,
Steps on it, or-
same thing. It steps on either one of them. It's just that one of them uses nets, so it's more of a might. The mightier the creature, the less likely it is to be successful, and the other uses its body's fortitude because it jolts it with electricity.
And if it has both.
Then you're kinda SOL. You might as well go with the pitfall trap.
Yeah, I was thinking.
But that in itself, if you're trying to capture the creature, I don't know if anyone's actually taught you. But I know, based on how much of these things I've sold, some folks do come back empty-handed in terms of the capture because they didn't do it right. To go along with the trap, you would need tranquilizer bombs as well. I sell those 50 gold a pop. You can use, from what we've researched, you can use up to 3 of them on a single creature. And the more you use, the more likely it is the creature to fall asleep. But the creature also needs to be severely wounded for it to even work.
Well, we should definitely buy
And-
3 of those.
Yeah, I think we should
Yes.
get the tranquilizers as first. How do I add those, Brady? What do I?
If you're gonna buy them, just deduct 150 gold, and I'll make. I plan on making most of these items from the guidebook onto here, so that Wrench can actually sell them. But I'll give you 3 of them, if that's what you're buying.
Yeah. So 10 platinum is 100 gold.
Correct. The 15 if you were buying 3 of them.
Okay. Yeah.
And the actual effects of the pitfall trap and stuff like that, I'll send you guys real quick. So that's the pitfall trap. This is the shock trap. And this is the trank bomb. Yeah, essentially you'd have to weaken the creature enough to where it is 1/4 of its maximum hit points. And then you roll for the trank bombs. And if the trank bombs are more than its remaining hit points once you roll them all, then it falls unconscious. If it's not, then it's immune and you would have to kill it at that point. So the weaker you get the creature, like closer to death's doorstep, the easier it is to tranquilize it.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
How long are they unconscious for? Does that also
24
depend on the
hours.
HP?
Yeah, 24 hours,
okay.
yep.
Gotcha.
I don't think we should get these traps.
Not yeah. Just the tricks.
700 gold for a one-time chance on a 14 save throw for a fucking T-Rex. Gonna pass on that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure its Constitution and Strength scores a little high.
Well, thank you, good sir. I will, I'll return if I need anything else.
Very well. Good luck again, and we hope to see you here
Yes,
soon.
sir.
I'll be right back for my hat.
Yeah, he goes back to making your hat. Which, yeah, if you guys are gonna do some RP, go for it. Actually, what was Trina and Thorpe doing? I forgot. Were y'all going somewhere or just waiting?
No, we were just gonna explore the encampment, see if we missed anything or found anything interesting.
Go ahead and roll perception checks for me, both of you. Okay. So you guys are walking around, and much of the encampment is pretty sparse in terms of like things that really pop. The Hunters Association Guild Hall obviously is the biggest building that they've got. The RR workshop is fairly large, but it's definitely easy to tell and set it apart from all the other buildings because of the large plume of smoke that rolls out of the chimneys that surround it. All the other places look like they're mostly just like kind of living quarters and things like that. There's a couple of spots where you can see a lot of different hunters gathered. They look to be like mess areas where they can go and eat. There's some spots where they can relax. But one thing that Thorpe notices is as you guys are walking and you get closer to the edge of the city, Trina notices that you guys are like close to the cliff, and she's like, well, I don't think there's anything else over here. But Thorpe goes just a little further, and you can start to hear the sound of rushing water. So you call Trina back, and as you get closer to the cliff, you look towards the west, and you see a large waterfall that's got quite a few stalactites that sort of block off the big pool of water as it falls over the cliffside. And you can see the rolling steam that's coming from the surface. And you see a bunch of hunters that are lounging around the perimeter of this location. A lot of them are in the water bathing. It looks to be some sort of natural hot spring.
Ooh. For future reference.
Right. Might need to recover from our fatigue after this trip we're gonna take.
Yeah, we'll have to let the guys know.
Indeed. Would they really want to do something like this, though? You have Jim, who is, tunnel vision on saving his family, and you have Lloyd, who is tunnel vision of gathering materials.
Yeah. But you need to recoup and relax at some point. You can't have tunnel vision the whole time. We'll make them.
Indeed. Reminds me, I don't trust that dwarf.
I don't really trust anyone. Or at least beyond you guys. I don't trust anyone else.
Yes. Upon looking into his eyes, something just feels off. But
Yeah.
just an initial thought. Would have to speak to him further if I want any more information out of him.
Well, if anyone knows how to read people, it's you, Dr. Thorpe.
I don't know about that.
Well, you're certainly better than I am.
It is a job. Job that I find passion in, by the way.
Good.
So how do you suppose we're going to deal with this creature when we find it?
I don't know. Good thoughts?
Yes. Definitely going to be a peculiar one. I feel like I might have to keep my distance on this one.
Yes, I think it'll be difficult, but I think with all of us working together, it should go a little bit easier, hopefully.
Feel like we got lucky the last battle because the creature forgot they could do a certain thing.
Wonder what that is.
Yeah.
But
Fuck you.
It seemed like it might have been holding back a little bit, but we still defeated it.
right. Underestimating the newbies is that it was a well,
But it was a legendary fight, wasn't it?
definitely unlike something I've seen in my travels. Would be lying if I wasn't looking forward to what we're going to battle next.
Actually looking forward to it too.
Right. So, meant to ask, what did, I hold on air quotes, Kai say again?
He said something about how he's not Kai anymore. He called himself, what was it? Thermus? No.
Thurgood?
Somewhere. Thermath.
Thermath, yeah.
Thermath. Yep, found it. I found it.
Thermath.
He was aggressive. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't necessarily afraid, but he kept warning us away from, quote unquote, getting on his bad side.
I may have to ask my lord about them. See if he knows anything.
He might. He seemed pretty demonic.
Yes, he understood every word I said in my tongue.
Yeah, but anyways, it's unfortunate that that happened to Kai, and I honestly don't really know how it happened.
Definitely beyond our time. He's been alive for a while, from what it sounded like. Just in a bit of a limbo.
Yeah.
Either way. So we got that. We got the meeting of hags. We have creatures to hunt that will potentially kill us, by the way.
Or we
And
don't hesitate to.
right. What's the fourth thing? Oh yes, a reluctant partnership. And I hold up a middle finger, like pointing up in the air and going in a circle.
Oh, yes.
Maybe Mr. Future Seeker.
Well, unless he starts learning lip reading, at least we don't have to worry about him listening in on us.
Right. So, any word from your sisters?
Trina looks kind of taken aback. Sister?
Well, the ones that you follow.
Oh,
Birdie.
goddesses.
That's gotta be your new character, Brady's Barty.
All right. I'm
Trina
Barty
looks
the
like-
Bard.
Just so you know, Thorpe, Trina looked taken aback by the mention of sister.
Sister.
But the goddesses, no. I haven't heard from them very recently. They just said, keep doing what I'm doing.
Thorpe raises an eyebrow. That word, sister. You seem to have a connection to it.
Well, I mean, we all have family, don't we?
I had family, yes.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Long since gone.
Hmm.
Damn near 40 years old now. All history happened when I was very young. But what about you and your family?
That's also a long, sad story.
Well, I look forward to having a session on the house to pick that brain of yours. When we have time. As he looks at you and smiles.
Possibly, you know, when we're not in near-death situations.
Oh, that's going to happen 24/7 at this point.
That's true. It seems like
Especially-
that's the way to go with this group.
Especially when we're following these two. But once again, I have my orders. I am to stick with the party in whatever decisions they decide to make.
Same.
So I cannot object. I just go. Maybe a suggestion or two.
I heard a
Little-
scream in the background. Was that a thing?
No, I was just playing the soundboard because I wanted to.
Yes. All right. Well, now that we know that this is here, I'm looking forward to using it.
Me too.
All right, maybe we should head back.
Okay. So you guys head back to reunite with the party. And after just a few more hours, Jimothy, your cowl is done. Your bowler hat, I should say, rather, is done.
Sick.
I will make a magic item for you with that, and equipped it to your character with the effects of the Basil Geese scale for next session. But we will be ending the session there. So give me a moment. Let me go in the stream, and I will be right back. All right. So next session will be. I've got a little more ideas. So obviously the Monster Hunter book that I'm using as a guide to all this is homebrew material. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description, but I highly doubt I'll remember. So you can find it on Reddit. Just look up Amelwin's Guide to Monster Hunting. If you look up D&D 5e Monster Hunter, you'll definitely find all the material that I'm using. There's two books essentially. There's the guide to how to like run adventures like this, and then there's the Monster Manual / loot table book, which gives you all the creatures from the Monster Hunter universe and the loot tables and what the effects of all that loot does. Very, very fun material to read and look through, especially if you're a Monster Hunter fan like myself. So I'm going to be getting this hunt. I'm going to try to spin it up just like he's got in his guide. So that's going to be my goal for most of the hunts that they do. Now that I know that they're doing the Glavenus, so should be fun. So next session they'll be doing skill checks, skill challenges, things like that, and then of course a fight against the Glavenus. Should be fun, and we hope to see you then. Until that time,